Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today is the first of a three-part series. What I'm going to do is take a look at the top 5 pens that's in my collection. This week's it's going to be the top 5 under 100 Australian dollars. Next week, top 5 between 1 and 200 Australian dollars. And then the final part, that will be top 5 over 200 Australian dollars. So join me now down on the mat. Let's jump on in and take a look at the top 5 under 100 Australian dollars. Welcome down to the mat, the notepad of testing. This is Oxford Optic paper. It's a B5 notebook. I'm going to fetch the pens out in descending order, so from my least favourite of the top 5 down to my favourite. We're going to start with position number 5, which goes to the Moonman or the Moonman T5 in purple. This is quite a pretty pen to look at. It's a nice classic shape. Got some slight derming on the top and on the bottom. If I try and turn this round, there's very subtle purple in the material. Otherwise, it's a really dark, nearly black colour. Then we just get these hints of purple coming through. It quite draws the eye, doesn't it? If we take a look at the nib, it's a number 6 size nib. We've got Moonman there. Nice nib, medium nib. This is a piston filler. Here's the piston window. So this is one of the things, and it's the same with a lot of the pens I have. I'd like this ink window to be a little bit wider, maybe double the width, because sometimes I do struggle to see the ink level. So we've got here a Moonman T5 with a medium nib. This cost 27 Aussie dollars. So not a cheap pen, but certainly not an expensive pen. The ink by Diamine. Now this could be spelt any way because I struggle with this. It is Monboddos Hat. Hopefully I've got that spelt correctly. I'm terrible. I'm forever mixing up the B's and the D's. Just going to do an immediate wetness test. So, moderately wet. I'm going to write a sentence. This is a very smooth nib, very little feedback. It fits nice in the hand, as you can see there. I use it unposted. Will it post? Sort of, but it's posting just here, just below the piston mechanism. So I'm worried that I might end up accidentally triggering that piston if I'm wiggling the cap to try and take it off. But overall, it's a nice pen. It's an enjoyable pen. It's one of those pens that it just sits there in the background, and it's one that you always reach for. Get a nice medium line out of that. Really consistent. Not had any issues with writing with this. So this is the Moonman T5 in purple. Next, we've got another Moonman pen, another Moonman pen. This is the M800. This is in the amber colour. Very, very reminiscent of a Leonardo Memento Zero. The material, a lot of it is transparent, so you can actually see through there. Inside, we've got a cartridge converter. The previous pen, as I said, that was a piston filler. Take the cap off. So another number 6 size nib. This time on here, I've got a bot nib. When you get this pen, you have a choice. You can either get it with the Moonman nib or with a bot nib. Now, I've actually got 4 of these pens. I've got 2 with the Moonman and 2 with the bot. I do think the bot nib, it's worth the extra $10 that I paid for it. A very nice writer. You just take off the body. As you can see, cartridge converter. I don't have that much ink left in here. Again, it's a pen. I've always got at least one of these inked up. So the next one we go for then is the Mahjong. I keep wanting to put MAH. This is the M800. Fine bot nib. Again, one of the things that lets this pen down to me, you can only get a fine nib. I'd love to get this in a medium or a broad, but that's a very personal choice. I paid 66 Australian dollars for this. The ink is by Robert Oster, so an Australian ink, and it's called Terracotta. I think it's a good match for a lot of the colours in the body. Let's just do a quick wetness, and then we'll write a sentence. The nib on this is very stiff. It feels very stiff when I'm writing. There is some feedback, so that's an improvement over what I get from the T5. I do like a little bit of feedback in my nibs. I like the tactile nature of feeling the nib as it's flowing over the paper. And certainly this Mahjong M800, that's got it, whereas the T5, that didn't. Fine nib, fine line. I would have loved that medium nib from the T5. Yes, I know I can swap them over. That's fairly easy. The number 6 size nibs are fairly easy to change around. But I also like the feedback. I say there's no feedback with the Mahjong T5. But this is the Mahjong M800. Just move the page up a little bit. At position number 3, that goes to the Jinhao 100 Centennial. Now this particular one is in the meteorite pattern. I've got another 2 in, one in blue, one in white. This is the one I'm fetching out because it's the one with ink in. Like all 3, enjoy all 3. They're very, very nice pens to use. Let's do some writing. So we've got here, I'm just going to put Jinhao 100. Not going to bother with the Centennial. Medium nib. This one, it costs 15 Aussie dollars. All these prices I'm quoting is what I paid for them. The prices have gone up. To get a Jinhao 100 now, it's going on for 30 Aussie dollars. And this is where I start to question with this pen. At $15, well worth it. When we hit $30, I don't know. That's where I need to start humming and hawing. And that's why I've only got the 3 rather than buying a lot more of them. The ink is by Dominant Industry, which is a Korean company, and it's called Lake. Beautiful colour. I've got some similar colours from Diamine, but we're already seeing quite a lot of shading coming through. Quite enjoy this. Wetness. Look at that gushing compared to the other 2. And my sentence. Nice pen, nice medium line. Fits nicely in my hand, not too small, not too big. Section feels nice, not too narrow. It's another one. It's a cartridge converter. This one's virtually full. The reason for that is I was actually going to do this with the blue pen, but it ran out of ink last night. So I filled this one. I thought, yeah, let's swap over. What I try to do with my Jinhao 100s, I've always got one inked up, and then I try to step through them. So I've just had the blue one. I've now got this meteorite. When this one is empty, I'll fill up the white one. I say the cost is what's concerning me now. They have gone up a lot. And, $15, I thought it was really good value. $30, starting to hum and har about it a little bit, but the pen looks nice, the pen writes nice. So if I saw a nice colour, I wouldn't mind paying the $30. And that's actually how I got the white one, because I liked the look of the white one. But that's the Jinhao 100. Pen number 2. This one, well, it jumps a little bit in price. This is the Narwhal Schuylkill. This particular one is in Porpita Navy. I do have a couple of these, obviously in different colours. I like here already we can see the ink window. Again, very personal choice. I'd like that a bit wider. Even if you take the cap off, I've unscrewed it a little bit, it's not that much wider. It's a piston filling pen. Got a really nice mechanism, easy to use. Now the nib on here, on this particular pen, this is actually a Yule Yoho nib. It's a broad nib. Number 6 nib, easy to swap. I did swap out the original nib that I got in this. I bought it with a flex nib because I thought, well, I want to try flex writing. I just did not get on with it. It was just not for me. So I swapped it out for this. I thought, well, let's put a nice broad nib in here. The other one I've got, it does still have the Narwhal medium nib that came with it. So here we've got Narwhal. I know it's spelt Narwhal, but Narwhal Schuylkill. This has got a broad nib in it. For the actual base pen, that was 89 Australian dollars when I bought it. I paid extra, obviously, to get that nib. The ink, it's by a Welsh company called Pure Pens. And it's Celtic C or Celtic C. Wetness. And then a sentence. I like this ink in this pen. I think it's a really nice colour. Flows really well. We've got some nice colour matches as well with the material in the body and the cap there. Really pretty. It's another pen. I know I keep saying this. All the pens are like this. Fits nice in my hand. Easy to use unposted. It will post, but it actually posts onto this end cap, which means if you accidentally wiggle that, you're going to end up expelling ink. So I never post this. It doesn't need posting though. It's got plenty enough length in it. So that's position number 2, the Narwhal Schuylkill. So let me just move the page over. There we go. We've got room now there for the final pen. So which is my winning pen? Which is at position number 1 of my top 5 pens? Well, that goes to the TWSBI Diamond 580. This is in all transparent. You can see there the ink sloshing around. The ink, it's got a gold shimmer in it, or a copper shimmer. You can see that when it settles, and it looks so nice in here. That's why I like the demonstrator type pens. So again, it's a piston filler. We can see the mechanism there. Let's take the nib off. So we've got a TWSBI nib. I believe they're made for them by Yoho. It's number 6 size though, I think. One of the things with this model of pen, you can actually buy brand new nib units from TWSBI. So you can swap that nib over really easy. Let's do some writing though. I've been agitating this, so hopefully we'll see some of the shimmer. So here we've got a TWSBI Diamond 580. Again, we've got a broad nib in it. The ink by Diamine. And it's called Yule. The pen, when I bought this, was 72 Australian dollars. Let's try rewriting that, 72 Australian dollars. Wetness, yeah, not too bad. I've really enjoyed using this pen. I'd say it was 72, it's a lot more than that now. I still think it's under 100, but I've had this nearly 2 years. Let's write a sentence. I like this ink in this pen. I will be honest, I have had some issues with some inks in this pen. They tend to be shimmer inks, and what I think is happening is they actually get down and they block up the feed. You can see there that shimmer there, that chameleon that's showing through on that feed already. It's not a big problem because all I do is I give the pen a shake and literally go like that a couple of times and that gets it going again. But it's just something to be aware of. Doesn't stop me not liking the pen though. It's still a really good value. It's still my #1 pen. Nice fit in the hand. Section is a little bit on the narrow side. Not uncomfortably so, not unusably so, but just be aware about that. My hand's sticking to the page there. I'm recording this on Boxing Day and it's quite a sticky day at the moment. Now let's take a look with this ink. I'm going to do this so hopefully you can see that gorgeous like coppery type shimmer coming through. It seems to be on virtually every letter. And what I find with this ink is I need to leave it a few minutes. The longer I leave it, the more that the ink, it fetches out that shimmer look. But this, it's the TWSBI Diamond 580. Let's get this out of the way and we'll fetch the pens in for one final look. So here's my top 5 pens under 100 Australian dollars. We've got the Moonman T5 at position number 5. Position number 4, the Moonman M800. Number 3, the Jinhao 100. Number 2, the Narwhal Schuylkill. And at position number 1, the TWSBI Diamond 580. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What are your top 5 pens in this price range? Please drop the details down below. Let's kickstart a conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.